Well, we are back on the 56, ready to get the transmission put in. I just decided to cover it up with duct tape. It seems to work just fine, so we won't get any dirt or anything in there putting it in. And then this truck has a really nice tall stance to it with the frame, so we can just roll that thing back here behind the step and get it in there just fine, and then send it up to its home. All right, we're somewhat situated under the truck here. So much room for activities. Now, just looking in here, we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of grease and put it on the fingers here for the throwout bearing, just to keep components from wearing out prematurely and that good stuff. But, you know, just a thin layer, not a whole bunch, because it'll sling itself onto the clutch, and then, you know, that you don't want that. So we'll just put a little bit here on each one, maybe a little bit on the throwout bearing itself, and just turn it like so. There, greased up in there. We'll do the same to the transmission. Give a little bit on here for the throwout bearing to ride on. All right, she's home now. We'll go ahead and get all the bolts in and then get that jack out of the way and keep on going with putting stuff together. There, all 4 mounting bolts are tight, so we'll just keep on going, adding parts. Get this drive line put back in, and then the carrier bolted back up to the frame, so on and so forth. All right, we'll get this U-joint put back in here. Make sure we don't lose any needle bearings. We're looking all right. Set that cap down for a minute. Get that one in. And then feed that top one up through. Like so. And we'll get our little retainer deals. Rotate that so we're not fighting it wanting to slide out. And we'll get our carrier bolted back up now. Here's one bolt to hold it. Okay, we got that bolted back up, so this section is back in. Now, in order to get the rear in, I'm going to have to drop that end and then take this end and slip it on first, and then put it back on down at that end where we just slipped it off when this was on the floor. But for the time being, I'm going to leave that unhooked, and where I can just turn the output like this, where it just free spins in that carrier like that, I'm going to go back up top, pull the tape off, and then start pouring in gear oil, and just go ahead and fill it, because I should be able to see the fill plug from the inside, and we'll just go up to this level. But while I'm pouring the gear oil in, I just want to rotate this and get things circulating as I'm pouring gear oil on top of it. That way we can get good lubrication and shouldn't have any problems with anything being dry when we go to start driving it. And we're up top now, and before we pull that tape off, we'll just go ahead and do this. Okay, we'll go ahead and start dumping some in. it's full of gear oil. I've got sealer all around this top surface here, so we'll go grab the top of the transmission and set it in here and get it bolted down. There we go, top's all bolted down. Now let's see if she works. I would call that a success. Now we're back in neutral. Let's just confirm it. Yep. Doesn't get stuck in any gears or anything stupid like that, so we're good to go. We're back underneath. We'll get this other end of the second half of the drive shaft drop down, then we can slip that yoke onto that one. So we'll get these cap retainers off. Check out those sassy old welds that probably aren't factory, but you know, somebody gave her some welding rod at some point. Kind of cool. So we'll get this thing hooked up, and then I think we should be pretty much done under here, other than, well, I guess we could do the handbrake from the top. That's no big deal. So we'll just get this thing hooked back up. Well, that's out, but we ran into a bit of a snag. As you can see, there's lots of destruction here. Now, I just applied a minimal amount of hammer force, and it just absolutely exploded the ends off of the U-joint caps, and then the remainder of them got stuck in the yoke, and I had to pound them out with a socket and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're down a U-joint now. And looking at this thing, it's rusty on the inside, and it just feels like junk. I mean, it won't even hardly move the full way. It's really crunchy. So luckily for us, I hopped on my phone, went on eBay, and I found some new old stock U-joints. So I've ordered those and got those on the way. But at least the drive shaft is out. Now I can still work on getting the floor pan back in, the handbrake hooked back up, little things like that. Something else I'm stuck waiting on right now is the carburetor rebuild kit. If you remember from when we did the first start on this, the gas just absolutely floods out the bowl gasket, so the carburetor needs a rebuild anyway, so we're not really going to be able to drive it until that happens. So when the U-joint gets here, we can slam that in, get the drive shaft back in, and then rebuild the carburetor, and we should be in good shape. So it's kind of a universe situation telling me that, hey, you can take care of the U-joint when you take care of that. So that's what we're going to do. I'll just focus on putting everything together in here and just getting things ready until we are to that point. All right, everything's together in here. Floor pan's in and bolted down. Handbrake's hooked back up. Got the throttle pedal back on to the floor pan. It works. I was messing around with the throttle linkage under the hood and just kind of straightening things out, lubing things up. So I think it'll work just fine. Well, until we get a new U-joint and a carburetor kit, I think that's about all we can do for the moment. So we'll just kind of hang out, wait for that stuff to get here in the mail. Should only be a couple days, but at least the transmission is back in the truck. Everything's hooked up as far as that goes, so we're about ready. Once the parts get here, and this thing should start driving around again. But till the next video, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.